The Super Rugby Pacific playoffs are here. This is my first Super Rugby video on this channel, but I've honestly been a really big Super Rugby fan my entire life. I remember growing up in South Africa, every single Friday morning in class, I'd be watching the games, hiding behind my textbook in class watching these games, and I'd probably still do the same today. I absolutely love the Super Rugby, but in this video, I'm going to be giving my preview and predictions for the upcoming qualifying round, I think it's called. Well, it's the first round of the playoff games for the Super Rugby. Now, I had to kind of search what exactly is the kind of process for the knockout rounds. I've searched here. This is what it says. So, Super Rugby Pacific uses a somewhat unusual playoff system compared to most of the leagues. So, the top 6 teams qualify, and after the regular season, the top 6 teams on the ladder make the finals. Then you have the qualifying finals. So, in the first week of the playoffs, it's first versus 6th, second versus 5th, third versus 4th. The highest seeded team hosts each match. Here we get that. The lucky loser. This is where it becomes really important, and this is why I was so confused seeing 3 games for a quarterfinal. I was like, what is going on? This is the unusual part. The 3 winners automatically reach the semifinals. So does the highest ranked loser from the qualifying finals. So I don't really know exactly how that works, but I think honestly, I'm going to try guess that the team that has the closest score goes through. I'm not too sure, but this is going to be absolutely awesome. These games are going to be absolutely epic. I cannot wait for these games. It's going to be really fun. And we are starting off with the Hurricanes versus the Brumbies. Now, me growing up, the Hurricanes had guys like Ma Nonu, Conrad Smith, Bowden Barrett in his prime, Julian Savia, Nehemiah Scudder, some phenomenal players as well. I think Corey Jane as well, but that was a phenomenal rugby team to watch. Victor Vito. But I mean, now they've still got some really good guys coming through the system. Ruben Love, for one, is one I've been seeing all over social media. I've been watching how he plays. He's been really good. The Brumbies, on the other hand, they are one of 2 Australian teams in the playoffs, but I don't think they have what it takes to beat a team like the Hurricanes right now. There's been a lot of talk about the Hurricanes being able to beat Bordeaux. Now, I don't know. I'm not going to say who I think would win that game, but it would be a very fun game to watch. But that being said, I think the Hurricanes are going to win this game, and I think they're going to win it quite comfortably. Going to Wellington and playing the Hurricanes is always a tough game. I mean, it's always going to be a really tough thing to go and win in New Zealand against a New Zealand club team. It's almost impossible in a playoff game in the Super Rugby as well. So I'm going with the Hurricanes to win this one. But that being said, I do enjoy how the Brumbies are playing this year. I love watching Australian club teams play. Now, I will say with the Australian club teams is they always start the tournament off well and then kind of fade away towards the end, and hopefully they can kind of fix this going forward, because I love watching the Brumbies play and the other team as well. I love watching the Reds play. They've had some legendary teams in the past, and hopefully the Australian teams can get back to that level of being really good and honestly feared sometimes. So hopefully they can, but I've got the Hurricanes winning this one. I'm not going to say by how much, but I've got the Hurricanes winning this one with quite a healthy scoreline as well. So first winner, I think, is going to be the Hurricanes. The next game, we have Crusaders versus the Blues. This is going to be an absolutely epic game. A bit of a New Zealand derby here. A legendary team versus another legendary team. Probably the most successful club rugby team in the history of club rugby, playing against a legendary New Zealand team, a team that all New Zealand fans seem to really gravitate towards, a kind of authentic New Zealand rugby club in the Blues. I've got the Crusaders winning this one, and I think this one is probably going to be the closest game out of the lot, and that's why I probably think the Blues will end up being the team that does go through as the lucky loser. But I've got the Crusaders winning this game. Yes, they played against an understrength Hurricanes team last week, but they looked really good, and they are kind of finding their form now towards the end of the season. I've got the Crusaders winning this one, but I think this game is going to be extremely close. This is a 5:30 in the morning kickoff for me here in the UK, but I'm going to try watch it. And I will try react to the games, every single game, but if not, I will be doing a review at the end of the week and reviewing all the games from the Super Rugby as well. So this is going to be very exciting. My first Super Rugby weekend on this channel. A lot more to come because I absolutely love Super Rugby. But yeah, I've got the Crusaders beating the Blues, but I will not be surprised if the Blues do pull off an upset here. But I just think Crusaders in Christchurch playing at home, it's always going to be tough winning there. If not one of the toughest things you can do in sports rugby, in club rugby. Honestly, I do think that the Crusaders at home is one of the toughest teams to beat, and I think it's going to be the same this weekend. I've got the Crusaders beating the Blues, but I've got the Blues ending as the lucky loser. Moving on to the final game, we have the Chiefs versus the Reds. The Chiefs are playing some phenomenal rugby right now. The Chiefs at home is a weird place to play. You do not want to play the Chiefs away from home, and I think that's a kind of ongoing theme in Super Rugby right now, and always been an ongoing theme. Playing in Wellington against the Hurricanes, playing in Christchurch against the Crusaders playing in Hamilton against the Chiefs. It's always weird as an away team. You just never get your groove, and I think they do really well. The home atmosphere, the kind of crowd getting behind their team, the weather conditions that always change from place to place, but also the atmosphere they create, and the way these teams kind of defend their home ground as if they physically cannot lose a game. I will say I think the New Zealand teams playing at home is almost similar to the top 14 teams in the European Champions Cup playing at home as well. It's illegal to lose at home in these games. They honestly cannot lose at home, and it feels like they just defend it with so much more passion, so much more pride as well. So I've got the Chiefs winning this game, and I've honestly got them winning it quite comfortably. Now, don't get me wrong, I want the Brumbies and I want the Reds to have a close game. To be honest, I would like to see at least one Australian team win, but realistically, I don't see that happening. I think it's going to be a clean sweep for the home teams this weekend. I honestly think it's going to be quite healthy scorelines as well, except for the Crusaders versus Blues game. But I cannot wait for these games. There's some really good players coming through right now. Players to watch out for is probably Cam Roygaard and Ruben Love from the Hurricanes. Can they string it together? Can they play some phenomenal rugby together and show that they have what it takes to be in the All Blacks jersey later this year against the Springboks? That's going to be another thing I'm going to be covering on the channel, and it's going to be absolutely awesome. Can the Crusaders show why they are the most successful team in Super Rugby history, in club rugby history? Can they kind of show that form again? Can they win another title? They probably can. And can the Chiefs kind of push now to win another Super Rugby title? I think they can, and I think right now it's going to be a bit of a slugfest between the Hurricanes, Crusaders, and the Chiefs to really see who comes out on top on the Super Rugby. I think those three are the favourites, so I don't know who's going to play against the lucky loser. I'm not too sure how it works in the semi-final, but we will be reviewing the quarter-final games or the qualifying round games. We will be going a review of all of those games. It's going to be absolutely awesome. Let me know your predictions down below in the comments. I cannot wait for these games. A very good way to start your Rugby Saturday, your Rugby Friday. It's going to be absolutely awesome. On Saturday, we have these games, then we have the URC semi-finals as well. It's going to be absolutely awesome. But let me know what your predictions are down below in the comments. Let me know who you think is the favorite to win the Super Rugby this year. I cannot wait for these games. It's going to be absolutely awesome. A great way to start the weekend of amazing rugby fixtures. I cannot wait. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.